Oh, OBS was angry for a second there. So that doesn't happen again. Sure. Uh, but we need something also to keep it extended. So the initial flat part might be the entirety of the stream, which is totally fine. Just to get some work on it, just so I get some progress before, the end of blacksmithing season. Because summer, it's actually terrible for outdoor blacksmithing. Because it is hot. Very hot. And I don't like to be hot. And you get heat stroke, and that's bad. That's bad. And as somebody who's foolishly gone ahead and done blacksmithing in the summer, I've learned. I just don't. So what I'm doing is I'm just using my utility blade, as I call it, just a plain blade from an old block plane, just to make sure this is the right width. Because it's basically there. I'm just going to size up, make sure that it is straight on both ways. There is a hump there, so probably deal with that. I just wanted to get a stream. It's been a while. It's been a bit. It's been a minute. But real life comes up, And here we go. Just doing a little bit more trimming there. It's okay to hit the inside of this, because this is going to be the inside of the bellow. Nobody else is going to see it. It's okay if it looks kind of janked. Okay, that should be good enough. A little too much, but that's fine. It'll stay. It'll do. That'll do, pig. So we're going to have nasty end be towards there. Well, the nice end will come out here. So we need to get rid of this here. And I'm just looking for something that I can use as a hammer. I know the answer is a hammer, but like, I like to be difficult and not use a regular hammer. The reason why I don't use regular hammers is because wood mallets are nicer. They're like less shocky on your hands. But I have neglected to make one. So I do have like other actual hammers. Sometimes I use a rubber mallet for it as well. But if I just grab a big enough piece of wood, sorry, I'm just off frame here looking for something suitable. Because I did have to move a couple things around, because I did some other around the home projects. And I don't always put things back where I get them from. Alright, well, it looks like it will be the rubber mallet. That's what I got. And the other part of this is, got to make sure it doesn't run away on me, so just going to go get a clamp real quick. Just orienting everything and doing that to see where I can put stuff. I'm trying to get an edge overhang so I can cinch this down to my table. And I can use a thumb screw clamp here. So, just one of these clamps. And they're nice because they got a lot of surface area. The tricky part about them is that they care about where their jaws are. Because the jaws want to be parallel to each other. Okay. So we're just going to start with this chisel. I feel like this one's sharp enough. And just kind of working at it. Of course, the place where I have to do this... What was that? Oh, that was a square. Not. Like, of course, it's one of the most difficult places just to do woodworking things in. I hit my thumb there. Pick up these nails. So we're just going to slow down and take a couple more confident chops here. Because I seem a little bit frazzled in that game Foxhole we play. Me and the regiment there. We had some developments regarding other factions' nukes. It's now all hands on deck. So that's why it happened a little bit earlier this afternoon. So I actually moved the show up a little bit later, but I wanted to move it up because I have a long night ahead of me of doing logistics and trying to move forward. Try to get some plans in action to mitigate the risk of disaster. I mean, it's been a wild last couple days. I've been playing since December. I've had 2 wars that have had nukes in them, and this war, there was 4. And then over the weekend, Colonials dropped 5 nukes, which was cool. I like that. 2 of them went off today, and then the Wardens instantly put up 2 nukes. Once they were sure that there was another nuke that couldn't do anything. So we can get rid of one of them, but now we have to figure out how to deal with the other ones. And I'm convinced they have another nuke pad that they just haven't shown their hand for yet. Because, you know, they might be slow to adapt sometimes, but there's no reason to expect them not to be adapted now. It's also such a long war. We're almost at day 50, which is, by in a way, the longest war I've ever been a part of. Especially because it has at least 2 more weeks. How long it's been. Let's add 2 weeks to that sentence. It's like, when I've gotten to wars, I think the longest I've been to before is 43 days. And at 43 days, people were already fighting in back lines. Like, it was, you know, you could tell which direction it was blowing. We're all still right around starting conditions. Like, right at the beginning, basically. It's been a wild war. I've had a good time. That's the most important part, right? Buy video games to have good times. So, I'll pop this in just to try to fit it, just to see how it fits. And it actually fits pretty... there's a big bend there. It's not supported, so it needs to go back. Whoa, my camera's just like all over the place. There we go. And I just want to check one thing here. Make sure that everything is going okay. Okay. Perfect. And eventually I will get a message from my wife or daughter, probably in the next hour or so. That's probably when I'll end it. So I'm just trying to make sure that this has enough purchase, like where I put it down has enough purchase. So I do want it to be flat. So like this here. Get out of the way, please. Thank you. And once again, none of the stuff is going to be perfect. It's one of those things that just needs to differentiate, like go to one location instead of another based on like ease. Because, you know, water is like air. They're both fluids, so they both want to flow in the easiest way possible. Whatever that way happens to be. Alright. So I just want to get rid of this hump here. Once I get rid of this hump, it should be good. So if I had a router plane, this would be a bit easier. Or if I used a router. But hand tools. I'd also have a more consistent. But I also didn't mark that out ahead of time because I've been kind of just making this kind of by night. Like I'm not following any plans. Ooh, that's a stick through nail. Stick through screw? Stick through screw. That almost cut me. I do not like that. Let me go grab something to deal with that. Try not to trip over everything. Here's bubble wrap. Okay, so I cut it, but it's one of those things. I don't think I've actually made it safer. I think I've just made other sharp edges. Now I made a point. Once again, not exactly safer. I'm like right down on it too. Let's try it this way. I don't know why it'd be different than the other way, but no, okay. Well, we're going to just ignore it. Ow, got electrocuted. Not electrocuted, static shocked it. Okay. Do I have any, just like, sandpaper? Here we go. Something to take the edge off of it. There we go. So, if I'm careless, it'll still definitely cut me, but a lot nicer now. Alright, so... We're going to go in this way, okay. And... Pretty close, pretty close. Right there again. Just right in the high point of the knot. It is, like, the fan, like, the shop is a little bit warmer still, but man, it's been so much nicer. I've been enjoying the decrease in heat. Just makes you want to do more things. Like, I've definitely been gardening and keeping up with it, but I could be keeping up more with it. I went out yesterday. Actually, was late for friend. Because, we're gonna do something. And I was like, I guess I gotta go out there and water plants at least, even if I'm not gonna weed them. So I get out there, I see a couple weeds that are pretty easy to grab, so I grab them. Then I'm over in my bed with my tomatoes, and I look over, and there's one ripe tomato. And I picked it, and I ate it, and it was delicious, because they're cherry, like, grape or cherry tomatoes are small. And I was like, I have the energy of a million people. I'm going to do a bunch of weeding now. I'm coming for you. I'm coming to save you. And then I did that, and then, like, I get a message from my buddy, like, you still doing stuff? It's like, oh, dang it. So, tomatoes made me late for my friend. He was cool with it. I explained myself. So I got to play games and stuff yesterday, because today would have been a different thing altogether, even before I decided to stream today. A lot of changes. Especially when I'm trying to get it as flat as possible. I know I'm not going to get it totally flat. Uh-oh. That's the other thing, is it does just want to gouge itself out. So now here's high. And I was thinking about playing my summer car. Wanted to do that again, but I said I'd do a blacksmithing or crafting stream before I went back to doing another video game stream. I don't want to do too many video game streams in a row, aka any in a row. I want to split them up. We did that painting stream. That figure's almost done. I'm done with painting it. I just got to glue it together. And it's one of those things, I'm going to say it's good enough. I'm probably the only person who's going to look at it. I'm going to look at it from a distance. So I'm just going to not beat myself up about what could be and just enjoy that I've completed another figure. All right. So that is there. So the next step for this is to glue it and set it into the board here. And I'm trying to think if I actually have short enough nails to do this. I'm gonna go. I'm here. I'm just looking over my nail rack. See if I have any short nails. So basically, it'd be tacks. Not even full nails, really. Okay. I got some. because this is not going to see a lot of wear and tear. The leather is going to see more wear and tear than anything. And that's probably what's also going to need to be replaced more often than anything else. With that, we're going to use like thumbtacks for it. Like we're going to use push tacks for that, or a very small hammer in tack. Nothing this long. This is for these plates. So I'm going to go get a screwdriver here, or not screwdriver, drill. And I'm going to go grab a smaller bit and try not to jam my hand in the mechanism. Done that many times. Feel silly every time. And get some pilot holes in here. Just because it is thin wood and I'm worried about splitting it. Now, where did I put my box of bits? Bit box, where did I put you? I know I'm the problem. So I haven't cleaned off my bench top in literal months. There we go. Underneath everything on the bench top that I haven't cleaned in literal months. Surprising no one. Surprising no one at all. Yeah, we're just going to go get the smallest one. That should be fine. Oh yeah, this one flips up. Flip up, please. Thank you. The thinnest ones are actually kind of hard to use. Yeah, that should be fine. I'm just going to close this, lock it for now. There. And we're just holding it tight here until I can see the... Oh man, there's a lot of gunk in here. I should clean these out. Just got a bunch of dust in it. Probably shouldn't impact its performance at this time, but something just to do in the future. Alright, so we're gonna... Do I like this positioning? Yeah, this positioning's good. So just going counter, or going clockwise and down. Come on off. I'm trying to keep its like relative position here. So I'm also going to throw down a layer of glue under this just to A, make sure it stays together, and B, so that it doesn't, to make it more make it more airproof. That's the problem with these small bits, is they get stuck. Like, they want you to, like, undrill them while you're, like, backing them off. Or they want you to drill them while you're backing them off, but, like, situations like this where you're trying to keep place... Actually, why am I trying to keep place when I realize I have to pick this up to put glue there? Hey, good evening, Suki. How you doing? Yeah, we're just gonna yeet that one there. And then we're gonna just roughly remember where to put these. See? It just gets stuck. Which is totally fine. Alright. Hop off, please. Again, before this open gear mechanism is the worst part of these designs. Just because it is very easy just to grab your whole foot or fingers and get in there. Those are worse with the what do you call them? Worse with the smaller bits. Bigger bits, because they can clear chips better, don't have that issue. Alright, let me just try to use the last of this glue here. I know, it's that lawn time, man. Especially after all the rain, it just wants to grow. Alright, we're just going to put a big old hefty amount there. And then this will just end up spreading it a bit, and I'm just trying to keep the placement for the nails there. And then the nails should tack it down. And we'll grab a hammer. Should have brought down my nail setters. I'm like nervous. I don't want to like flap through on these and like split it. Try to be gentle to get these in. I realize these are two different head nails. I guess they bounced around. Yeah, well, no big deal. All right, 1, 2. 1, 2. All right. So those are pretty good in. All right. So next up is the leather. Actually, I'm just gonna rub that real quick to get along that seam, and I'll probably have to do a little bit more air resisting proofing of it because it's never actually going to be airproof. You know, it works well when it works, and yeah, I mean, the other thing is a bit brace, right? Like that's the other tool, and bit braces really don't like using that small bits. Like just because of the torques and the motions that you're using, it's really easy to snap small bits in bit braces. Bit braces want things from like a 1/4 inch up. This is really for things a 1/4 inch down, but anything lower, smaller than a 1/8 of an inch is also a pain in the knees. I feel like at that point they would just use like an awl or something like that. Because they also, depending on exactly when, you wouldn't have this type of geometry a bit either. You'd have a slightly different geometry bit most likely, which, you know, may change some of the results of it. So, the only thing that I'm unsure of, and I think I have an idea, is what side faces what is functionally the outside world. Because I think the rough side faces outside. Just because it has more texture to it, which just feels right. Whereas this is slick and also has a finish to it. And that can get ruined while this is not finished. I mean, well, this is a replaceable part at its heart. But I feel like it's going to make better contact with this. Because there's a rough surface on the leather to affix to a smooth surface, where if it's just the wood and the smooth side of it, it's going to slide. That's my guess. So let's cut out the minimum amount from this. I think it's like a $25 ream of leather. It's a $25 ream of leather to work on it here. Just gonna oversize it because we can always cut it down. And worst to worst, I do have a second one of these. I'm just gonna start like this. Oh, only went through at the end. Weird. Now let me trace my mark. Also, probably not the sharpest knife. Okay, so we're going to throw this over here. Yeet. So this is going to get pinned probably back here. And then when it breathes in, it's going to lift and then drop, lift, drop, lift, drop. So let me see. Do I have some tacks over there that I can start this off with? Let's hope I do. If not, they're in my car, which is a very stupid place for them to be, but I definitely got tacks from somebody and forgot to move them. My wife is always like, why is this there? It's like, because I remember that it's there. Like, well, why don't you put it back where it belongs? It's like, well, I don't know that it's there. If I put it there, I will have forgotten that it's there because that's not where it belongs. Not where I've seen it. Here we go. Here's some small tacks. It's ADHD brain. It's like, yep, things are where they are, and I'll remember that forever until I put them in the right spot, and then I'll forget them because they've never been there before. So these have a pretty good size head on them. I'm just thinking if this is centered and how much I want to. So I definitely want to get it in here now. I'm just thinking about how far to stand off. Probably here is fine, right? Definitely behind because I need a little bit of overhang. Oh, you know what's funny? I actually have a hammer specifically for this. I bought it at sale a long time ago. A tack hammer. This is the first time I bought this thing like 4 or 5 years ago at a flea market. It was like $1.50, and I'm like, I'll take your weird hammer, sir. set these up going across. And I am going to also do a couple more, like a second row, alternating just to get it together, but that'll probably be done off stream because it'll be like after the glue dries. Just want to make sure it's totally stretched out, or as much as I can get it anyway. Man, I'm glad I have this hammer, because this tack hammer actually feels good when I hit my fingers with it, instead of actually being a big hammer. It's a small hammer, and I'm not angry. So I feel like somebody made that just for the purpose of screaming mitigation. Also, you can use all your stuff in the shop, right? Oh, bent that tack. Actually, you know, I'm not gonna touch it anymore. We're just gonna use that as it is, cinched and all. Like, for instance, I like to try to keep things where they're used. It's not always pretty because you often use things where you have your things, and you know, wife doesn't always like that. For a while, I wouldn't say argument. Argument's a strong word, but we had a disagreement on where to keep the fire extinguisher in the kitchen. She wanted it in the cabinet, you know, away. I wanted it out front center. Basically right next to the stove. Oh my god, I'm massacring these tacks. I'm massacring them. Well, you know what? Cinched is just the same, right? It's still there. Okay. Cool. Massacred those tacks. Yikes. Sorry, I feel bad about them. Because, you know, I was trying to explain to her that in a, you know, crisis situation where there's a big old fire, you're gonna panic. You're not gonna remember which cabinet it's in, or, you know, forbid there's fire in front of the cabinet, how do you get to it, right? Say, what if there's fire in front of the extinguisher? If it's open in open space, you can probably just grab it and take a little bit of heat damage or whatever. And then eventually, I'm guessing she had an issue with a fire or something at some point, or maybe saw one on TV, because she stopped arguing with me on that and actually had me put it back there after I moved it to someplace a little more out of the way, because even I was finding it in the way. So I'm guessing something happened where she got some experience about that, and I don't mind it being slightly in the way. All right, so that is good for there, and then we'll get another row here, and then it's going to be giving it a skeleton on the back here. And that part I'm not so sure how to do, honestly. Because it needs to be very light. Like, honestly, it's probably not going to open up more than that much or so. This is a pretty big hole. But I need to just make sure that it stays open, and probably will end up having it have a lip over itself, probably. Like that. I don't have any sewing supplies. Like, my first thought is wire, but even wire might be heavy. Like, I could definitely just let it ride like this, but it will just bunch up on itself after a while. So it's more about just keeping it. I'm just thinking stuff. So, one thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut off the rear leather here, because I'm definitely not going to use anything much back behind here. Just like with first aid kits, it's like you should have them available and visible and everything clearly labeled. And like, I know they sell these really, like, and these ones get bought a lot because they're really compact. It's like, oh, it has all these things and they're really compact, but everything is on top of each other, and it's usually pretty small labels and everything like that, and it makes it less useful, because in a time of crisis, and most people that go get them aren't actually like crisis responders, so during that time of crisis, with their amateur enthusiasm, are trying to help. But oh man, that one just immediately folded. That's ew. I don't like that one. That one's too much. The reason why these are doing this is the side that's over a knot. So the knot is making this harder than it needs to be. You could say I'm not happy with its performance. that's down enough. And cinching isn't a bad thing. Like, I could totally just cinch them elsewhere as well. In fact, if I didn't have enough tacks for the outside of it, when I get to the actual out perimeter of it for the I'm making out of canvas, is if I run out of tacks, it's just cinching nails over. As far as possible from the shop side of the house. Okay. Well, you know, maybe get a second one. I am a fool and keep forgetting to buy a second one. Mine is upstairs in the bathroom as well. And especially when I got power tools, my wife was super worried. And I was like, I'll get one. And then she stopped bugging me after I stopped doing as much with power tools. Which is like fine, but like I still should have it. Something down here, at least something to, you know, deal with cuts. Alright, I'm just seeing how this will stay here and where the folds will be. Okay. Okay, I think I have an idea, but I want to see what type of wood I have. No, that's definitely too thick. I'm looking for something that's like less than 1/8 of an inch, because the height for all these is pretty close. It's close enough that I'm not super worried about it. I wonder. So I'm just thinking, what if I don't even worry about that and just have something that... So if it doesn't, it's not going to open a whole ton, right? So this just needs to have something that keeps it open. So if there's, like, I'm just going to pierce it a little bit on the far end here. Not a problem. If there's like something on the far side of it, like super far, like over here, that allows it to travel up and down when it breathes in. That would also work. Would be maybe less mind melting. See, it's not together enough for me to even practice it. True, rags are enough. Yeah, it's got to make sure they're clean. Got your clean rag bag. I'm just in thought about how to complete the last part of this. Because probably the lightest way to do this, to keep it all stretched out, is to have a V here. So when it opens up and pops down, it's a V. So like your support structures are to the edge, these don't crinkle in. That's probably the most efficient way to do that. It's also kind of hard because like there's a divot here because there's a hole, so it keeps sliding down on its own gravity. But I just need something that is light enough. And I could even just glue it onto that, or something like that, and just get that V. This might be a little bit of a mind melter here. Because, like, a lot of the things that I'm thinking of aren't... Probably use bamboo skewers. They're pretty light. Just one going each way. I wonder how important it is to keep these free. Like, if I had it poked through there, and it was coming down, would that interrupt it? So I don't want to mess with too much material now that I'm here. Glue it going that way, up, down, up, down. Yeah, I could probably... Yeah, we're going to bamboo skewer that. We're going to use what's available and what's cheap and what's light. And I guess I can then test it by blowing on the bottom of it. Like, I guess when it's like that, the only problem is twist, but it should untwist itself, right? And shouldn't contract on itself? Yeah, okay. So bamboo skewer is probably the answer. Okay. I thought that through. So we're gonna, once this glue dries, which will be tomorrow, I'm gonna do a couple more tacks in there to get it like this. just so that it has a really, really sharp edge from which it wants to flap from. And then that'll be this part. And then the next part is something I'm doing mostly off stream because it's boring, it's just cutting stuff, is the outlet for it. Because on the outlet where the air comes out is also where the middle rung that helps keep the whole thing from losing its shape is, and also the top rung, which will be actuated. This base plate here isn't actuated. So it stays flat the whole time it's here, and then there'll be a actuated top of similar size. And that top's going to be made out of plywood. A, because it's lighter, and B, because it's what I have. This here is just made out of this wood because it's what I had from last year's axe targets. I probably will not make this year's axe targets on stream because I have that summer party coming up. So I need to go and actually get the lumber for that. And I was, if lumber prices have gone down enough, I was considering getting some lumber to retop this bench that I'm on. Just because some parts of it are showing where I beat the crap out of it when I was first learning. And it's definitely not flatter level. And to get it flatter level would be really a Sisyphean task. So that part depends, A, on cost, and B, how good the lumber looks. Because this is going to be Home Depot. This is all stuff that I eventually am going to probably throw axes at. Or make into other home craft projects. So, like, we're not doing hardwood tops. That stuff's too expensive. I'd feel bad drilling into that, unless I got a deal on it or something like that. So we're just going to keep using, pine, softwoods. Because also, like, I don't finish the tops of these. This top does have finish on it because I've dropped finish on it. But just base wood, trying to get a minimal of knots. And I can actually, at that point, do some fixing on the structure underneath the table as well. Because that has moved as the table has aged, which is, because this table is not in super compliance with how wood expands and contracts. It's not terrible. It's not like a 0 out of 10. It's not like, it's not like there's opposing grain inside of itself, so it's splitting itself apart or anything. But it is just bullied in place with construction adhesive and screws. So there's definitely some movement that has happened that I have not accommodated for and really can't without taking off the top. And I have taken off some of the top before to get chips out because I've had that happen once or twice. But if I'm doing it all because I have to get rid of all the glue and stuff like that that's under there as well. So that'll be this weekend that I can grab that stuff. But I'm not going to do that on stream. I probably will try to get some just pictures of me making it or something like that to post on socials. Because I'm terrible at remembering to get content for socials. Yeah, Facebook Marketplace is a good place for cheap lumber. I've in my area, it's a little bit weird because we have a lot of, I don't want to say scammers, but a lot of disingenuous postings. What I found it really good for is, hey, a tree went down here. We don't want all these logs here. And the arbor company didn't want these smaller ones. And I take those and I make smaller planks out of them. And I can make jewelry boxes out of them and stuff. I can make smaller. I can rive planks from those. Also, I use them as chairs outside for when I have big parties, like in the summer. Just get logs to do it. See, we have in our area some like lumber mills that are pretty big. But they operate at like hours for contractors. So like they're only open Monday through Friday from like 6 a.m. to like 3. And like that's great if you're a contractor, I guess, but it's terrible for me, Mr. 9 to 5. And we have some smaller arborists that do some stuff, and there's some that are okay. But it kind of depends. If I were more up in the what do you call that? In the boonies from where I'm at, I know there's some places that are a little cheaper with that, with what they find. They're just like, hey, we got a tree, we cut it down, we want to make some profit back off of it. Versus here, it's like, here's the whole industrial thing. So it's a bit of a difference, but I've looked. And Craigslist also, too. Big fan of both. I don't think I have any other parts to do with this until that dries anyway. I did figure out a way that I have to redo the outflow of this for it, because I'm not going to try to totally shield the inside from any potential sucking forces. I'm just trying to put a very low-tech leather flap valve. in it, which is just going to be a little bit more work, but honestly should be good. And I just want to get some blacksmithing in this year. I want to try to turn some more tongs. I'm not done with my tongs, the couple pairs of tongs, but like I've just been seeing all winter. I just have tong blanks that are here. I have a bunch more tong blanks. Like, got a set. I've made them without blanks, but I just wanted to try some with blanks, and I think they're in the shed. I think the partially finished ones, and I just want to finish them. I see them and they taunt me. So I got one pair of tongs done this year. I'll consider it a success. So, and there's also a couple other small projects, like this year for the summer party, we're having the first annual Friend Combine. So a bunch of us middle-aged people are going to do NFL Combine style drills in addition to the axe throwing that we usually do. So we're doing the high jump, 40-yard dash, and the bench press. I need to find a bench for that. When bench press in the NFL is 225, none of us can do 225. Oh, oops, I'm receiving a call. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. 1 second here. Sorry about that. My family gave me a call there, so I just wanted to pick up. They're on a trip, so I didn't have time off from work, so I missed them. Where's I getting at? Oh, about the flap inlet for the front. So just trying to expand that a little bit. It's fine that I lose a little bit of air. I'm using a bike pump currently for blacksmithing that is like the size of a cat. So anything that has more airflow will be an improvement. And I just got to keep my eye out for any other, you know, good quality pumps that might come up in auction or anything like that. Even if they require a little bit of restoration. Because they don't make bellows this big anymore. And if they do, I haven't seen them. So since I don't have anything else besides just the axe marks from last year's, these are all axe marks. Kind of cool. Since I don't have anything else for you for stream today, I'm going to end it. I'm going to call it. Next stream will probably be a my summer car stream, just because I was dreaming about playing that game. I'm going to get some progress in that eventually, I swear. It's become a white whale mine. And then once I have more woodworking projects, I will get more of those out. I'll try to do a stream in 2 weeks. That'll be the party week, so we'll see. But thank you for joining me at for Dad's Old Shop with actually completing more parts of this. Got sidetracked. So many projects, man. But yeah, thank you for joining me and have a good evening.